welcome back to my channel. This will probably be my last video for quite a while because I am finally moving. I leave tomorrow, and so I won't really have time or my own space to be making this kind of thing most of the time. So this is it for a while. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about long distance and friendships. So to start off with, some of my dearest friends are long distance with me. And I'm not talking like, oh, they live a couple hours away. I'm talking they live in a completely different country, a completely different continent. I'm talking 24 hours to fly over there, long distance. And I also have friends who are long distance within this country. And these are some of my closest, dearest friends. And I've just been thinking about them a lot and missing them a lot. And so I wanted to touch on the topic just a little bit, because here's the thing with long distance relationships in general. Relationships, I mean, as a very broad term. And they are not easy at all, obviously. It's difficult because people's lives are so busy as is. I personally, I have so much going on almost all the time that I don't even hang out with my friends
A
who
few
live
moments
like
later.
5, 10, 15 minutes away from me as much as I would like to. There are some friends who live here who I haven't seen in months because our schedules never aligned and life just got busy. And that's totally okay, but life is just busy, and so it's hard to make time for people who even live here. So having friends who are long distance, it is truly like a test. It is truly a test of how strong, honestly, you guys care about each other, because you're having to exist in completely different spots. You have busy lives separately, and quite frankly, if you don't put in the effort, you just stop texting each other, and then it's so much easier for the flame to just die, for the relationship to just kind of dissipate, if you will, because you're not physically near each other. There's no way of bumping into each other or like anything like that. And so like if you stopped putting the effort, honestly, you could literally just never see or talk to that person ever again. And that's a really weird thought, that like there could be someone you're so close with and who's so important to you. And if they just decide to stop responding to you one day, that just may be it. But with me and my friends, I I had never really had long distance friends up until within this past year. Um, my friend Maylene, I love you, Queen, if you're seeing this. She lives in France, and she came here for 2 weeks back last November, and was one of my really close friend Annika's exchange students. She stayed with her for those 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks, like I grew to love May. She is so freaking sweet. I love her so much, and even after like 2 weeks, like I started to feel so close, and we've been able to like, luckily keep in contact with each other even after she's left. We'll send each other letters and postcards, and we still talk and stuff like that over text. And I also have had another really close friend of mine, Lara, who lives in Germany. She was an exchange student for a whole year, and we didn't become friends until about very late November, actually, early December. It was like right after Maylene left, me and Lara started hanging out. And me and Lara became very, very close instantly. With very few people do I just immediately click with. I'm an outgoing person, but if someone isn't like, I can be very shy off the get-go meeting someone, and unless they like kind of say something to me first, I'm a little bit more reserved. But once they say something to me, I'm like, boom. It's just like you open Pandora's box and just like talk, 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 talk. Um, But with very few people, like, I usually have to, like, it takes me a while to kind of warm up to people, truly, like, truly warm up to people. And with Lara, it was just immediate. She had this way of making me feel so comfortable, and just we immediately clicked, and she became one of my closest friends. I mean, we were hanging out multiple times a week. She lived 10 minutes from me, not even, I don't think, like literally right down the freaking street from me. And it was so hard going from seeing her every other day, literally, to knowing that I wouldn't see her for over a year. And that when she needed me, when she was having a tough time, when something big happened to her, when she needed a hug, I could not be there for her. It breaks my heart. It still breaks my heart. Knowing that I could not be physically there for her when she needed. That is, I think, one of the hardest parts about long distance relationships is knowing that you cannot be there whenever like something big happens to another person and when they need you. That it's really, it really sucks, to say the least. Um and so I, going from her being so close to just being across the world from me was difficult. So same with Maylene. Maylene was not here quite as long. Like me and Laura, we had a little bit, little bit longer together, and she became honestly my closest my closest friend for a while. I mean, just because we were hanging out so much. And even since she left and since May left, we have still been able to keep in contact. Even if we're not talking as much, we still talk here and there, and update each other about our lives. And the thing is, you know again, I say long distance relationships, I think, are some of the most difficult, if not the most difficult relationships to maintain, because again, you're not physically there. But the thing is, like, they're so hard, for just copious amounts of reasons. But I am willing and I am able to put in the effort that it takes to maintain them, and so are my friends. And I really value that, because again, there's a possibility that, like, if one of them were to stop texting, we may never see each other again. But my friends and I have been so good about just updating each other here and there, periodically talking. I'm going to see both of them next summer, and honestly, that literally keeps me going. When I'm feeling so down and I'm missing them so bad, and just wish I could give them a hug, I just have to remind myself that I'm going to be seeing and holding them. And even though it's a year away, it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so worth it that honestly, I'm like, I can live with the distance for now, knowing that I'm going to see you at some point. Even if I have to wait a year, that is okay with me, because they are worth it. I mean, like, these girls have been such loving and true friends to me that, again, even the sadness it causes being far away from them, in the end, their friendship is worth it. It is worth the trials and tribulations, if you will. And, you know, my biggest love language is writing letters to people. I write letters to people who, even, like, I have pen pals, with my friends who are in the city. It doesn't matter. Like, I love writing letters to people. I love it. It is my love language. Um, and so that is a really fun thing, though, a positive about, they live far away, but at least I can write to them, and I can send them little gifts and stuff like that, from back here, from their other homes. Um, and I think that's lovely because you have to want, really like a person and to want to put in the amount of effort it takes to truly maintain a long distance friendship. You have to really care about the person. And honestly, I think that makes me value them more, knowing that they're still able, and want to keep in contact with me despite everything else. Um, it's, I value that, and I value their friendships, and I value what they've taught me, knowing that you can have deep, strong, meaningful relationships without having to be there with the person, They can still remain just as important to you even if they're not physically near you. And like it's just every relationship, every friendship, every dynamic with a person will teach you something new about yourself and about how to be like more resilient in not so ideal situations. It's not the most ideal that some of my closest friends are living so far away from me, but it is what it is, and learning to accept the fact that we will probably never live in the same place again. But it's also fun to think like, that it's an excuse for me to travel and go see them and visit their home countries and see what their lives look like there, because I've never seen them, interacting with their hometown friends or living their actual real lives. And so that's a fun thought to think about. And it's just, honestly, I think being able to maintain long distance is a privilege. It's a privilege because it's not something that everybody is able to do. And because I've been able to do it, I have been able to keep two very important people, lovely people in my lives. And I also have a friend, Louisa, she just moved to Florida. And so it sucks because we've gotten so close, and now she's not here anymore. And quite frankly, it makes me like I'm going to go see Louisa next spring break in Florida, and the distance and the anticipation and the buildup of knowing I'm going to see all three of these people next year, it keeps me yearning in the sense that I miss them so much, and I am going to just appreciate and value that time with them so much more. Not that I don't value and appreciate people when I see them on the daily, but you just become accustomed to seeing people regularly, that when you see them, it's just like, oh, it's nice to be with you, but like it's not that big of a deal. But whenever you haven't been able to see people for so long, you just learn to appreciate it and the time with them so much more and just be in the moment. And so the thought of that really gets me excited, because I know that like it is going to be so special to see all of these people once again, and just like it freaking gets me hyped. It gets me so excited, and just like I'm just so glad to have so many different dynamics with people that look different, and it teaches me to value and appreciate each person um differently, if that makes sense. Because I have different dynamics with different people. I have my friends who live here, my friends who live in other places, and both of them are equally of importance to me, but they kind of teach me different lessons and play different important roles in my life, and I value that. I really, really, really do. I can't even stress that enough, honestly. But that's my little rant for today. Um, and if any of those lovely ladies are watching this, I love you guys so incredibly much. And I am just beyond grateful to have people like you in my life. And I cannot wait to be reunited. It'll go by so quickly, the time between now and when I see you guys again, and I just cannot wait. So yeah. Um I hope you guys are having a lovely day, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.